tonight. There's a video coming out tonight. It's actually all, it'll be ready tonight. It'll be ready at about, what I probably need is I probably need a place with a very strong internet connection, if anybody has a very strong internet connection. But there's a couple things that I want to cover right now that are super important. So the first one is this. We need more information to file the lawsuit tomorrow. We need more information about Andy. I need her first and last name at News 13. I need the address of News 13. I need to know who the principal is. Who's the principal at that high school? Because we're going to subpoena him and we're going to ask him why he put the schools into lockdown under deposition. And then we need the information. I need the principal's first name, last name, and the address service. And then we need News 13's address. We need Andy's full name. We need the editor of the paper's full name. We need the editor of News 13's full name so we can file litigation against them tomorrow. That's what's going to happen. And then I heard there's a rally for Back the Blue on Monday. I don't want you to go. Remember what John Lennon said, and I want to thank Jack and PA who just gave me this information. What John Lennon said is that they don't know how to deal with you when you're peaceful. If you go to that Back the Blue thing tomorrow, there's a chance someone will try to have a confrontation with you, and we don't want that. We don't want any physical confrontation. We don't want any violence at all whatsoever. And show how sparse it is. You're going to have maybe 30 or 40% of the people go to the Back the Blue thing, but I don't want you to go. I want you to sit at home and not participate. Don't scream out your window. Do not participate. They want us to turn into violence. That's what they want, because they don't know how to deal with peaceful protests. Throughout the history of time, every time someone infiltrated a leader's group, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, you name it. I mean, you can just keep going. What they do is they try to get you to be violent. So if you have the info, we need the info for News 13. It's going to be the number 4 and then Ironton and then info. Don't send me your cases there, just the information about legal proceedings. So we need the address of News 13. We need Andy's full name, who's Andy's a hitman, but they sent her out to do a hit piece on me, because here's the reason why it's such a solid defamation case. Here's the reason why. Because they had the source standing right there. But instead of talking to me, the source, they ran the article, and then they had me on camera when the article was released to try to get a reaction out of me. Here's the classic defamation. When that guy showed up, the third party showed up, and he was mad at me, that proves that they libeled me, defamation, through writing. And then when the third party showed up who was angry with me about his kids, they caused a defamation of my character. You see, that's illegal. That's against the law. You can't do that, because that's against the law. That's against the law. And, when I talk about a public controversy, that's a legal term. Remember, I'm not a public figure. I have 30,000 subscribers. When you can check the social media things, there are people with millions of subscribers, and lots of them. I'm a tiny little fish. I'm not a public figure. So you can't defame me in the ways that they did to discredit me. And that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. Disgusting. So we need Andy's full name to serve her, to put her on the lawsuit. We need the editor of News 13's name. And we need the address of the school. We need the principal's full name. We need the Ironton. I have the Ironton Police Department address, but you can send it in. I need copies of the news articles emailed to me at 4, the number 4, irontoninfo@gmail.com. The number 4, irontoninfo@gmail.com. And you guys, the interview's coming out tonight, where both Goo and Pam should resign. They both should resign. Both of them should resign. From the video coming out today, I mean, as soon as it's done uploading, it's almost done uploading now. So Pam Wagner and Goo should both resign with the info coming out today. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And then look, all these people are coming forward. The time to strike is now. The time to strike is right now. Right now. If you want to tell your story, I need you to go on the record. I don't have time to edit. And by the way, I was editing the interview yesterday, and then I thought in my head, maybe these people think that I edited words or I moved stuff around. So what I do is I lay out the entire 2-hour interview, the whole thing. The first 90 minutes is all audio, and then the next 30 minutes is a live in-person interview with the informant. And you cops, you're screwed, because the tapes and the catalogs are already in LA. I shipped them off a couple days ago. They're already gone. And then the informant already has the dash cam front and back and has cameras at the house. And that was a delay here. We wanted to make sure that there was cameras everywhere. The only thing that is changing everything is the camera. Nothing else is doing the difference. You've hired lawyers in the past. You've hired, legal experts, and people say, oh, my legal team. And I understand that. I got lots of people help me who are legalese. I'm just a constitutional expert in the terms of understanding how it works, the foundations of law. But I'm not a legal procedure expert. I've never been to law school. Okay, so the email address to send me the info about Andy at News 13, I need the editor's name at News 13. I need the principal's name. I need the principal's name and the address of the high school to serve him a subpoena for a deposition. You're being deposed, principal. I don't know why you would run that when you knew that I've been putting pressure on Hanshaw. Hanshaw's garbage. I'm releasing all of them tonight. When I upload this interview, the interview is uploading right now. It should be done any minute, and then it goes boom right up to YouTube. When you guys see this interview, it is nasty. But then Hanshaw is the guy working at the school, the one accused of patting down kids in the bathroom alone. Dude. And then they do a lockdown. So that email address for any information you have about the address of News 13, the editor's full name, Andy's full name, copies of the article. I need the principal's full name and the address to serve him a subpoena. And I'm forgetting something. So that email is 4irontoninfo, the number 4irontoninfo@gmail.com. Okay, there's that. Then the next thing is this. Previously people could defame you, and they could write articles about you, and they would say, oh, he's terrible, he's this, he's that. And now today, just so you guys know, I don't have a criminal record. I've never beat my girlfriend. I've never been arrested in San Antonio. I don't have any felonies on my record. This is the source, right? So I don't have a criminal record. All this nonsense is going on. People, and remember, the cops will do anything to stop this. You know who else will? The courts. The courts are as corrupt as everything else. Why can't we audio record in the courts? Why can't we? Oh, because then there'll be transparency and you'll see that you guys didn't follow the law. And this is ubiquitous. This is not just here. This is everywhere. So, oh, it's not dual sync that shit up. What's up? I don't need a heater on. It's boiling. Go ahead, dude. Jump in there. I'm not going to try to fight you for a space. Get in, dude. So the defamation stuff, you guys can post defamation about me, but it won't work. It won't work because I don't care what you think about me. It doesn't matter to me. I'll sue you. Like, I'm suing an individual in this town. I got a few more paperworks to do, but there's a couple people here that I'm suing that I sent cease and desist letters to. They didn't cease and desist. I have a legal team. I have a guy right now waiting in PA to give me the names and the addresses of the next people we're suing. I'm just overwhelmed right now. But you guys, I sent you a cease and desist. You didn't listen. So get your lawyer. It's just the way it's going to go. You can't defame people. We're going to use the actual constitutional law to make sure that we can't be defamed. You can't defame people. It's against the law. Yeah. So, by the way, tomorrow we're filing three different motions on Sarah Page's behalf. And here's the thing. We need to get this is going to be under transparency, the new system I devised, but we need to be able to get the body cam footage, and we can't. And there's 5 different pullovers that they did for on Sarah and Tim, and we can't get all the body cam footage. Why? Why not? If your cops are good cops, and all you people going to the Back the Blue rally tomorrow, how can you support when I'm telling you, and you'll hear so just so you know, the reason why I'm just going to work tonight and just work, and just anybody has really amazing internet with a high upload speed, you can contact me. I don't know how you're going to contact me. I have hundreds of emails, hundreds of texts, literally hundreds. It's so hard to get back to anybody. But I need a fast upload speed. I need a fast upload speed because there's so many videos that are going to come out today before the back the blue thing tomorrow. So you guys get to hear what these dirty swine have been doing here. And then people are going to the back the blue thing. You know, it makes you look really bad to your children. Anybody going to the back the blue thing tomorrow who has children that are under 10 years old, when they grow up, that audio will always be there. The video of what the testimony of people to what the cops are doing will always be there. Your children will not respect you. And if you're a cop today, part of the Nazi regime that we've created here in America, where we're right because we have all the weapons, we're not going to fight you with guns, dude. I'm not going to fight you physically. We're not going to fight you. Don't go to the rally tomorrow, because if you go, there's a chance for confrontation. Don't do it. Don't go. I'm asking you not to go. It won't help us. The people who want freedom and liberty, get away. Go away. Let them have their rally. That whole counter protest crap, don't do it. They want to get into a physical confrontation so they can then say that I caused I forget the exact legal term for it, inciting a riot. Don't go. Don't participate. Don't tear down their flags. Don't do anything. And I want to clarify that as well. Stay away. So I need the info on Andy. I need her first and last name, need the editor's name, need the principal's name, full name, need the address of News 13, need the address of the school, need the address of Ironton Police Department, and I need, you know, we're going to subpoena the police to find out which cop told them that I sent off a video that caused, and then we need to know who ordered that soft lockdown. We'll get that through deposition of the principal because he's not going to perjure himself. The cops will lie. Cops are lying pigs. They'll lie to put you in a dungeon. Remember, so just so you guys know, when I was no-knock raided by current Chief of Police Michael Moore in Los Angeles, they no-knock raid my house. There's 10 cops in my house. I'm naked. They leave my robe open for like 10 minutes. My privates are just hanging out. I finally say to the guy, dude, cover my stuff, right? And I'm in handcuffs, right? And while this is all going on, they finally say, where are the pills? And I'm like, dude, I'm a bodybuilder. What are you talking about? Like I go to MMA practice. I don't do pills. You know, I've done pills. I've done ecstasy in my lifetime. But what I'm saying is I don't deal pills. I don't have pills at my house. There's no pills. So he goes, where are the pills? And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, where's the GHB? I said, the GHB is in a bottle in the fridge that says the big letter G on it. It was legal last year. It's illegal this year. They called GHB the date rape drug. You know what the date rape drug is? Alcohol. That's what it is. The date rape drug is alcohol. It's not GHB, what the bodybuilders use. It's just not. It's not. It's non-anabolic. So, I mean, now I take anabolics because I'm over 40. 1 second. Let me. Hey, welcome to Starbucks. What can I do for you? Can I please have a triple espresso long shots? Triple espresso long shots. Anything else? That's it. All right, 345. Appreciate you. So then here's what happens. Just so you guys know, I want to tell you how you always hear me telling about don't talk to the cops, don't talk to the cops, don't talk to the cops. So Michael Moore, he was a detective back then. Now he's chief of police. He says to me, Chili, you know, I've looked at your pictures. I looked at your house. You know, you seem like a really nice guy. You know, I'm sorry that we're here for you. And I'm like, you're at the wrong place. And he's like, well, tell me about this substance you're using. He lies to me and tells me that kids are dying. The same thing that I'm taking. He told me a bunch of kids died in the valley from taking this stuff. And I'm like, well, oh my God, let me help you, Mr. Moore. Let me tell you everything I know about this drug that I take for my body, because I'm scientific. I have been since I was a kid. And then he goes to court. He lies on the stand. Michael Moore lies on the stand. I mean, I've told this story before. I watch the cop who I told everything to try to help him because kids are dying. He lies about everything I said. And so I've told this story 50 times. I'll tell it again. It's only 2 seconds. And so I have Robert Shapiro sitting next to me, who is the same guy who represented O.J. Simpson. Okay. So as Michael Moore is lying about what I said, I'm in my mid-20s, so I'm full of piss and vinegar. I guess I still am. And so I stand up in the courtroom in front of everybody and God, and I go, you're lying, right? Shapiro, Robert, my lawyer, who I'm paid $50,000 retainer to, Robert Shapiro then looks at me and says, sit down and shut up or I quit. Shapiro said that to me. He's my lawyer. I gave him 50 grand. The judge, a female judge, she has her gavel and she's gonna smack her gavel down and call to order. But instead she goes like this, and then she looks at Shapiro and she goes, you got it. Okay, so then here's what happens on that. After Michael Moore, current chief of police, who's a lying pig, lies about everything I said to him in the interview, I told him everything I could, how G works in your body, how it's non-anabolic, how it's great for sex and great for sleep. I tell him everything about GHB. Okay? He says I'm a drug dealer and that I admitted I was a drug dealer to him in a private interview. And so now after Shapiro tells me to sit down and shut up, then we get in and Shapiro cross-examines Michael Moore. And he goes, okay, Mr. Moore. He goes, I appreciate your testimony. He thanks him for the lying testimony, which I'm just like, dude, I'm not that smooth. Someone lies about me and I get pissed. So he thanks him for the testimony. And then he says, so Mr. Moore, you got a warrant for Mr. DeCastro. Is that correct? We did. And then when you got that warrant, did you bring in a SWAT team? He goes, we did. And then he goes, when you breached Mr. DeCastro's door, were you guys filming that by any chance? He goes, yes, we were. And then he goes, okay. And then when you kicked the door down and you found Mr. DeCastro in his bed asleep with his girlfriend, were you filming that? And he goes, yes, we were. And then he goes, okay. And then you searched the house. You found a very personal amount of GHB and you found a personal amount of marijuana. Did you film that? Yes, we did. And then you searched the entire house, right? Yes, we did. Did you film that? Yes, we did. Under the cabinets, in the sink, everywhere. He goes, yes, we did. And then he goes, okay. And then when you put Mr. DeCastro in cuffs, were you filming that? And he goes, yes, we did. And then he goes, and then when Mr. DeCastro sat down with you for an interview and he confessed to being a drug dealer, did you film that? And he goes, no. And the whole courtroom, people I don't know, just people who are in chains, because you got to be in chains or you'll run away like a slave, right? The whole courtroom goes, oh. They dropped 3 of the 5 charges and 3 of the 5 felonies. And so then the DA pulls me in the back room and they do the dirty DA stuff because there's no audio recording of everything. Now that the DA pulls me in the back room and goes, well, 3 of your 5 charges were dismissed. He goes, but if you don't plead guilty right now to the other 2 felonies, I'm going to refile those other 2 charges against you tomorrow. I look at Shapiro and I go, the judge just dismissed them. I don't know the law. I'm 25 years old. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I've never dealt with felonies. And Shapiro says, yeah, he can refile them. I've always been one of those people that even if I'm going to get my butt kicked, and I have got my butt kicked, if you disrespect me too badly, I was willing to go into the fight. And now as you become an adult and you're not a teenager anymore, it's not a physical fight anymore, I'd reach down deep into my soul, way down deep into the pit of my stomach. And I looked at that prosecutor and I said, well, then you can go yourself because I didn't do anything. I'm not a drug dealer. I've never admitted to that. And then Shapiro saw me getting hot and he was like, we decline your officer, counselor. Thank you for your time. And he rushes him out of the room because once I start to get hot, man, I'm going to let you have it with my words. I'm going to let you have it with my words. Buckaroo, you're probably just in the wrong place. That's all, buddy. I don't spend a lot of time reading the comments. Once in a while, a comment will come up and I'll see it because the comments don't pop up very often. But so what, and so I need the info for Andy at News 13. I need her full name, her last name. I need the address of service for News 13. You can email that to 4irontoninfo@gmail.com. I need the address and the full name of the school, the principal of the school who ordered the lockdown. I need the address and of the I can get the address, the Ironton Police Department. And then I need the full name of the editor at News 13 and the address to serve him a subpoena at. We're suing you. And we're suing the Ironton Police Department for defamation. Can't do that. Can't do that. Okay. So, and then I want to just make sure also, which by the way, we have someone said power of attorney. We filled out the actual power of attorney forms that I'll be turning in tomorrow. supplied by the state of Ohio. Okay, so there you go. So that's how it works. And then, oh yeah, let me just address that power of attorney thing. Once you give anybody power of attorney over you, they can go to your bank and say, I want your bank account numbers. Once you give someone power of attorney, I don't know if that's true. I'm just kind of exaggerating. I don't know if that's 100% true, so to double check on that. But I do know that I have all legal rights to represent her, all legal rights to speak on her behalf. And according to Marbury versus Madison, I don't need any sort of license to represent someone who I have power of attorney over, power of attorney on, not over. And so once you have power of attorney, listen, you only sign away power of attorney to someone you trust. And I'm not benefiting at all from.
Hey, it's 3:45.
Thank you. I'm not benefiting from Sarah unless we get some money on what we will get some money, because they have to release all the body cam and dash cam that shows that cop stalking her. And
16:55.
thank you. And once this case is done, once the legal case of not using your blinker and failure to stop, that's what she's charged with. Thank you. Oh, here, honey. Here, yo, tip box. Here you go. I'm too short. I can't reach.
Okay,
thanks. I appreciate it. And once this legal case is over, because we can't file civil litigation until the legal case is over, because we will be found not guilty. And then after that, we will file a federal civil rights lawsuit. And that's how that will go. So people are confused about power of attorney. Power of attorney gives me the right to act on Sarah's behalf, which I'll do, which is all I'm going to do, because everybody's watching. Remember, if I do anything wrong, everybody's watching. There's auditors around the country who a lot of people, just so you guys know, I was behind the scenes for all the way back to Photography is Not a Crime. I've been behind the scenes writing, giving information. I've been coaching and working with auditors for years, teaching people their rights, how they work. There's a long history of me. And you can check with a guy named Carlos Miller. Carlos Miller runs a publication called Photography is Not a Crime. And I used to write for Carlos Miller, Photography is Not a Crime. So it was just back in the day before we knew that these cops are disgusting lying pigs and that they will lie on the stand like Michael Moore did to me, and that the cops will lie about everything. Before that, we used to have, we were really, just so you know, it's only 2022 where the cops are using you as a piggy bank and ruining so many people's lives that people are finding like, you know what, we are sick of it. Like it used to be, just so you know, that Back the Blue rally tomorrow, I don't want you to go. Do not go. Shut your door. Don't watch it. Don't participate. Remember, and thank you, Jack, for giving me this. John Lennon said, when you're peaceful, they don't know what to do. The cops don't know what to do. They don't know what to do because they want to fight. And I've offered those cowards a fight in the cage for charity, which is perfectly legal to do. I'm not threatening. I'm for law and order. So if anybody thinks I'm wanting to fight anybody in the street, I don't, and I won't. I absolutely won't. If you attack me on the street, I'll get away from you. I'm not going to fight anybody. I'm not going to punch anybody. I won't do it. I'm not for violence at all. I love violence. I'm not for violence. I love violence in the proper arena. I'm not for violence. It doesn't work. We will not beat down these dirty pigs by using violence. It won't happen. You'll screw us all. If you go down there, as a matter of fact, just so you know, what they do, what the cops do, you guys saw all the bricks. Let me ask you a question. As you drive around town, do you guys see any pallets of bricks in front of buildings just sitting there that are nice hand size? Do you guys see those anywhere? I don't see those anywhere. I drive around Ironton here. I'm looking around. I don't see any pallets of bricks anywhere. BLM had an idea. It's hijacked. It's gone. It's dead. Because once you allowed the violent thugs to enter into your movement, they ruined it. And so tomorrow at the Back the Blue rally, they'll try to say that it's people working for freedom and liberty that are attacking police, that are attacking citizens. And then they'll try to say he incites riots. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anybody attacks you, film it. What do we do in Ohio? We film everything. What do we do in the tri-state area? Camera comes on right away. We're filming everything. You know that drunk guy the other day who was screaming in my ear? Number one, uh, that guy was never trained how to fight. He doesn't know how to fight. But number two, I'm not afraid because according to the 14th Amendment, equal protection under the law, if that man were to have attacked me, I would have got away from him. I do sprints every day. I would have left him in the dust. I would have ran. You don't fight in the street. That is not who we are. You are not a thug. You are a good American person. And by the way, there's one more thing I want to cover in this regard. I hear a lot of people talk to me and they're like, hey, you know, I did some things in the past. Oh, you mean the government created chemical laws against you? You know, what's next? Is coffee bad? Is coffee bad? If they create a law against coffee, how does that go? How's that go? If they create a law that you can't have coffee, that's what they did. They started with Kerr versus United States in 1925. So just so you know, on your trifold that so many of you have gotten, and I'm super grateful that you guys are downloading that. I don't want you to talk to these dirty pigs because they will lie. They'll lie and say you said something else. They'll say that you informed on someone. They're lying. The cops are liars. Ooh, that's hot. I take the lid off. So I need info. I need info. I need info. I need info. I need the info. I need to know Andy's full name. Andy, they're using you at that publication. They know I'm a legal expert. They know I have backing. They used you, Andy. And if you did that yourself, Andy, to try to get ratings, you're going to get more because you're going to court. You're going to court, baby. That's the way it is. The editor, you're going to court. The editor who published that without checking with the source she was going to meet with. Because then you get me on camera lying. Because then the kid can go look at the video Chili sent me. Everything is digital now. Everything is digital. Everything is digital. And if you guys really want to know, Beastmasters in the house just gave me some advice to make sure I don't have my one ear pod off when I drive. You know, the reason why people know who I am at all whatsoever, the reason why I have a following is because I teach the origins of law. So what you want to do is you want to go back in my lectures to the beginnings when I started. And I was taking some stuff from TikTok and putting it on YouTube, but more than anything else, I was going to the black community because Terry versus Ohio, which is our goal, and you may not even know it. That's our real goal, is to overturn Terry, which is based on the 1925 case of Carroll, which extends into the 1963 case of Kerr versus California. And that's going to be a catalyst from the 1961 single convention on narcotics drugs. And the reason why the 63 Kerr case happened and the 68 Terry case happens is because Earl Warren's going to be impeached, the only Supreme Court justice who ever came close to being impeached. Because the cops are mad that Earl Warren is following the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And so Earl Warren, what does he do? An elitist? They always worry about themselves first. I'm just worried about me first. That's an elitist all the way. You get someone with deep pockets, born rich, raised rich, they're never going to serve you. They're never going to help you. They're protecting the Chamber of Commerce. And so, you know, before, they used to be able to slander people like me. They can't anymore. I'll go on camera and I'll discredit it. If you're seeing a criminal record going around about me, it's fake. It's fake. It's not real. It's not real. I'll admit to anything I've ever done because I'm running for governor. So people will sleuth me and follow every part of my life. Talk to people who were my friends, and they'll tell them anything they can about me so they can get some limelight on them. That's how it is. That's our culture today. People record my phone calls. People record. It's just weird. It's just weird because I'm not a public figure. I'm just a regular person who turned on a camera and started teaching law. That's all I did. And then, by the way, just so you know, the powers that be at TikTok originally were suspending my account and banning my account. I got 100,000 followers in 2 weeks. I got another 100,000 followers 2 weeks later, and then I gained another 100,000 over like 2 or 3 months. Yeah. So if you want to send me info, listen, if you guys want to email me info about your life and about your case, deletelaws@gmail.com. Deletelaws@gmail.com. Send me your info about your case there, about what happened to you. You know, let me know. Just block that guy, Sly. Block him altogether. Matter of fact, I'll go back and look at this chat and I'll block him altogether. it's a big mistake what people do. When someone sends you a cease and desist and you're trying to slander them and then you don't, you will face legal repercussions. As a matter of fact, Jack is just sitting there right now. Jack needs a job. Jack needs a job. Jack's a lawyer at a PA who gave me the info about John Lennon this morning when we talked. Jack needs a job, so maybe I'll have him do the lawsuits that I'm suing individual people here for. Maybe I'll ask him to do those lawsuits and get those defamation suits ready. And then those people will have to hire an attorney, and then the judge will order them to take down the stuff that I sent a cease and desist on. And that's okay. Listen, remember, you just follow the law, people. Follow the law. And Jack's the one who told me that John Lennon said, when you don't fight back, the police don't know what to do. These people who are going to go out and back the blue, when I release, just so you know, and let me just talk directly to the people who are going to the Back the Blue rally tomorrow. If you have children who are anywhere, any age, especially under 10 or in their teen years, and then they listen to and watch the smorgasbords of videos that I'm releasing tonight, I'm going to do premiere after premiere after premiere tonight. When you guys watch the smorgasbord of things that are people are accusing these cops of doing, and then you go to the Back the Blue rally, that's fine. That's fine. Your kids will not respect you. When they listen to it, if they're 8 or 9 right now and they're like, oh, no big deal. And then they remember back and they're like, my dad went to that. And then they listen to the two women outright say that the cops had sex with people. 2 women outright say it. Outright. Why'd they do that? Why are they making that up? Why would they make it up? Why? Why can't I answer enough emails? How come? Why am I sending myself all these emails? Why are so many people upset? Oh, because if you are, just so you know, Ironton Police Department has a list. I'm not sure if you guys know that or not. Ironton Police Department has a list of who's bad that they need to harass. That's a fact. Still no cops have contacted me. One cop contacted me and said he's an ex-cop and he wants to talk. I hit him back and you know, yeah, I haven't heard back from him. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. You guys take your finger like this, see my finger, and then just drop down and hit your like button. Make sure you subscribe. And make, a lot of people, anybody get back to me about a printer for tomorrow? Because what I'll do is I'll just upload that trifold for people, and then we'll just print off 1,000 of them so that people can have the trifold in their car. I want you guys to have it. It really matters a lot to me. I have the indestructible trifold here. This is on indestructible paper that I print out of Santa Monica, California. And this one, I poured water on this. I've spilled it, crumbled it, and this paper can't be ruined. So I like my indestructible trifold, but it doesn't matter as long as you're able to tell them, I don't have to watch my mouth. That's not correct. That's incorrect data. You can't search my car unless you believe that I'm transporting illegal alcohol. And then if you ever see anybody who gives consent to search, you can revoke consent at any time. If you see someone and the cops are searching their car or searching their house, you tell them you can revoke consent, and the person has to say, according to the law, to revoke consent clearly, you must clearly and unambiguously position, I revoke consent to search and reserve my rights in doing so. You have to revoke consent verbally. Okay? So, and then has everybody done this yet? Did you make a copy of your driver's license, your insurance and registration, and put it on one card, on one single card? Did you do this yet? If you're not prepared when you get pulled over, your mouth's going to get dry. You're going to shake. You're going to be afraid. You got these 2 thugs with guns because your registration was bad. Because your tags were out. Your license plate light didn't work. Here's how we know it's a great big U. When did a license plate light become a law? Your license plate light isn't working. I thought plates were reflective so that when the cops shine the light, or anybody shines their light on your license plate, it reflects. When did a license plate light become the law? Because, just so you know, this is when Reagan cut the tax code again, and then all of the big businesses stopped paying any taxes. Jeff Bezos, no taxes. Target, no taxes. The big businesses. And so then what the municipalities had to do was make you their piggy bank. And so a license plate light, yeah, that's a great idea. I got a great idea. Let's create legislation that they can't get the body cam footage. Let's do that. And that is going on like crazy. That's going on like crazy all around America. So I need the info for those things. I've got to get back. I've got to keep on. I'm going to release video after video tonight. They're going to be little short 5 to 10, 15-minute videos about the testimony people gave. I changed your voices. I took out your names. I mean, I sent backups to ASD Docs has backups. I sent the tapes off and the documentation off to LA for the informant who's coming out tonight. There's a confidential informant coming out tonight who will not be private in about, I guess, an hour or so. It's coming out tonight. I mean, it's uploading to YouTube now, so I'm just waiting for it to finish uploading. So, oh, you got pulled over for a license plate light? Someone just said they got pulled over for a license plate light. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Why do you need a license plate light? For what? What if you got a 67 Mustang? You got to now install a light on there? Oh, and then they could pull you over and go, oh, you didn't have a light. Well, it's a 67. Okay, well, give me your license and registration. And then Sarah got pulled over for the wrong color car, and they gave her a ticket for having a mask hanging down. I mean, Jeff Lawless. Oh, did you guys sign the petition? Recall Jeff Lawless. RecallJeffLawless.com. And then tomorrow, just so you know, because my web guy, tomorrow the petition for Ironton for all people who've had their civil rights violated comes out tomorrow morning. So you'll have a petition tomorrow morning. Okay. So, oh, someone went to jail for a tag. You guys go ahead. Just type in here. Tell me why you went to jail. Why the cops pulled you over. Tell me why the cops pulled you over and why you went to jail. And I'll read it off right here. I cannot answer all the emails and texts. There's too many. That many people have been cheated. A few years back, I got pulled over for a license plate light. The email is 4irontoninfo@gmail.com. The number 4irontoninfo@gmail.com. I need Andy's first and last name, the editor's first and last name, the address of that crappy little publication that did that to me. We're going to find out through deposition. We need the principal's first and last name, and we need the address of the school where we can serve him a subpoena. And then just so you guys know, I am putting a motion in tomorrow. I want everybody to know this. So Judge Kevin Waldo, Mr. Waldo, how are you, sir? Much respect to you. I have put up a motion in tomorrow to stream the court case, to audio record the court case. Why can't we? Why don't you guys get to see the Sarah Page story and the Tim Lyons story? Why don't you get to see it? Why don't you get to hear it? How come? So, Mr. Waldo, tomorrow I file a motion with you in Sarah's case to stream and audio record the court case. Why can't we? How come we can't? Why can't we? How come you can't? Answer. I want you guys to tell me, why can't you? Why can't we? It's RecallJeffLawless.com. Everybody type that in here. RecallJeffLawless.com. We need 15% of Lawrence County to sign that. That means you need to share it everywhere. Recall Jeff Lawless. That's up. We're also going to do Sam Cramblett because he hasn't called my phone. But I have so many things, anybody who's web developers that does websites. Look, I need help. I'm one human being and I'm just a regular dude. I'm a commoner just like you. I can polish up like a new dime, like every other person who moved to Hollywood, but I'm just like you. I lived in a trailer as a kid. Not a double wide. No. We lived in a single wide. We lived in a single wide trailer. Yeah. My bedroom was about as big as my minivan right in here. This was the space for I think my bedroom was a little smaller because there was enough room for me as a little kid, like 6, 7 years old, to lay down. That's how much room was in my bedroom in the single wide trailer that we lived in way out 20 miles down Gaswell Road. So I am definitely a commoner, 100%. I'm not rich. I understand I have charisma that was given to me by God, and I'm grateful for that. but I am just a regular slep. Just like my teeth. I told you guys this. I've just told you. So I do need help. Anybody who's you know what I really need right now? A graphic designer to help me lay out the new transparency system, because it's a lot of graphic works. What I do is I build big displays and then I lay the display out so that people can see it. That's what I did with the timeline that got me known from coast to coast, actually around the world. Want to hear something really funny that's really, really cool? Because just so you know, I lived in Hollywood for 20 years. I don't give a flying about fame. I don't give a flying about money. It doesn't matter. You need enough to eat and you need enough people to know you so that the state can't railroad you. That's what you need. You need someone to bail you out. But really, most people have one or two friends, and I'm the same. I've only got a couple really, really tight friends. And then my hometown friends in Alaska, some of those guys we're still bonded forever. So um, I want to make sure what was I just saying? So accountability for all. I love accountability for all. Make sure you guys subscribe to accountability for all. So I need a graphic designer to help me lay out the new transparency, because, so that's where I was. So what I do is I lay out graphics. Oh, here was the really cool thing about fame. This was the coolest thing that I've ever experienced for me, because I did TV shows and I was a producer and I did all this stuff in Hollywood. I don't really give a shit. But here was the dopest thing I've ever experienced. When I was TikTok famous, before they branded me a racist, by the way, those are the lawsuits in Mississippi, because you can't. I have a website on delete laws that says defining institutional racism in America, so it's really hard to call someone racist, and then they owe you a duty. But I don't want to get sidetracked here. So the coolest thing that's happened to me in my life is, as far as this little microcosm of life, um, what happened was. I'm going to put that user in timeout for saying something nasty to somebody else. I just don't. I can't read the nastiness to people. My uncle, I'm Colombian. My father's side is Colombian and my mother's side is Irish German. That's why I have green eyes and white skin. But my sister is brown eyes and brown skin and black eyes. My sister has dark brown eyes and dark brown skin. So she looks like my father. I look like my mother. But my uncle in Colombia called me and told me this story. He said he was with a friend and he said, "Do you know about American constitutional law?" And my uncle said, "I know a little bit." And he said, "There's a guy on TikTok named DeCastro who teaches constitutional law in America. Have you seen, or do you know, because your last name is DeCastro, do you know this guy named DeCastro who teaches constitutional law on TikTok?" And my uncle said, "Show me." He showed him the video and it was me. And my uncle called me. For the first time, my uncle understood who I am and what I'm doing with my life. And my mother's husband, he still doesn't know who I am or what I am. And I'll tell you what I am. I'm a game changer. We transform into the digital era. I'm a game changer. And I'm going to change this game. I swear to God. I won't do anything else. I'm not going to do anything else with my life. This is my life. This is my journey. This is why God made me. I'm here to do this. This will be the legacy that I leave behind for the people of America. That it used to be where you couldn't audio record in courtrooms, and we changed that. It used to be that cops would be able to hide the body cam footage and there was no transparency. We changed that. We changed it. We did. The people did. So I got that info. Thank you guys. Email me that info. And then, wow. If you go to the Back the Blue thing tomorrow, you're failing us. Don't go. Shut the door and lock it. Don't let them in, because they're going to go get drunk and act like idiots. Shh, let them show themselves. Don't participate. Don't go. We don't need a counter protest. The law is on our side. We don't need a counter protest. How good did it look when you had BLM and Patriots and they're screaming, "Rah, rah, 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 rah," and they're screaming at each other and then fist fights happen? We don't need it. You'll hurt us. You'll hurt our movement. And then the bad actors within the police, they'll set it up so that they dress someone up like, oh, look, there's a bad actor here. Don't do it. Oh, and then I'm hearing all these rumors how the cops are going to set me up. Do it. Do it. Do it. Because then you'll have people in the streets. You're going to plant drugs on my car. You're going to try to get a druggie to kill me, all this garbage. Transparency has arrived. If you sneak up to my car, there's cameras rolling 24 hours a day. If you come near me, my camera's on. This is my weapon. I'm not going to fight you, dude. So don't go to that rally tomorrow. Do not participate to the rally. Oh, go to deletelaws.com. I just read that. Go to deletelaws.com. You can get the indestructible trifold that I send you from LA, or you can get the free trifold by getting the digital trifold and then putting the words free trifold into when you check out. So when you go to deletelaws.com, then you go digital trifold. It says $15. Click on it. You go to your cart, and then it says, what's your coupon code? You put the words free trifold into that coupon code. And then this goes to your computer in your email. Check your spam folder if you bought it or if you get it for free. It's in your spam folder. And then we're going to print them tomorrow. You know what? I'll have sponsors come in. We'll go down to a printing press anywhere we can print, and we will print these all out tomorrow if that's what has to happen. You need this. You can't talk to cops. You need it. So don't do it. Don't do it. Let the cops, let the people celebrate the cops as these videos roll out of testimony of people saying, yeah, I watched the cop have sex with a girl in the jail. That comes out today. I'm just stalling for time because the upload's about done. And so that comes out today. Today. The videos about the sex in the jail and the cops having sex with girls, those come out today. Why are cops having sex with women? No, I mean, not as a man. I understand that. I mean, I understand that. Believe me. I'm a dude, I like sex. I like women. Oh, the other rumor about me, that I was married to a man named Kenny. Listen, guys, I live in West Hollywood, California. If I was gay, I would be so gay. I would be like, yeah, I'm gay. I would be so gay. I have no problem with gay people. I love gay people. I love trans people. I love all people. I don't care what color you are. I don't give a damn. I've dated every different color of woman, from pitch black to pale white. I've dated every single color of women. Not a single color I haven't dated. Not one. My favorites? I'm just saying, though. There's the other rumor about me, that I'm gay and I used to be married to a man. I mean, anything to defame, anything to discredit. And by the way, the media used to be able to get away with this before I could turn on my camera and just address the issues being said about me. It's just all bullshit. It's bullshit to discredit us, to discredit the movement of overturning Terry versus Ohio. 95% of the things that you guys are sending me are Terry stops. 95%. If you've been stopped here for a bad license plate, light's not on, or you didn't use your turn signal, right? It's a Terry stop. That's actually called a pretextual stop. So Terry branches into multiple, just go on my YouTube and go back and find out what Terry versus Ohio is. I don't want to explain it 1,000th time, but Terry versus Ohio branches off into multiple, because you need what's called case precedence or stare decisis. Stare decisis is, so it's STARRY and then decisis, DECISIS. I hope that's the correct spelling. So all cases are based on previous case precedent, and the case precedent moving forward is called stare decisis. And so what that means is that when they got rid of your Fourth Amendment completely with Terry versus Ohio, the right for you to be secure in your person, houses, papers, and effects is gone. Then when they wiped that away by saying a cop just has to be suspicious of you, then what happened is new cases would come up and the cops would violate people's rights. Wilson versus Arkansas, 1995. Because Tennessee versus Garner is 1985. Wilson versus Arkansas. They create, as an extension of Terry versus Ohio, that police cannot no-knock raid your home. That's the holding in Wilson versus Arkansas. But the precedent, the stare decisis of Terry versus Ohio, is that officer safety is the First Amendment and the most important amendment. There's no more important amendment than officer safety. So the holding of Wilson versus Arkansas says that police cannot no-knock raid your home. They can't do that. That's unconstitutional unless it's in the name of officer safety. So as you're sitting in your home having a bowl of ice cream, the cops can say, you know, Chili, he does a lot of MMA. He trains all the time. He carries a gun, you know. So we have to no-knock raid his home. And then the judge, who doesn't give a shit about you, signs off on a no-knock. I believe his name was Amir Locke. Amir Locke, just recently in Minnesota. So that's what Terry does. Is the stare decisis of Terry says that officer safety is the most paramount thing. How many times have you heard, oh, don't go behind me for officer safety? How many people are going behind the cops and attacking them? Yes, if I go behind you, I can choke you out. But it's not happening. It is not happening. Nobody is going behind cops and choking them out. So that whole bullshit of don't go behind me for officer safety, that comes from Terry versus Ohio. But so now there's two cases that are just disgusting, that both of them are washed away when we overturn Terry. The first one I just mentioned, Wilson versus Arkansas. Cops can't no-knock raid your home. That's unconstitutional unless officer safety is paramount. Then they can no-knock raid your home. As you're sitting in your house with like Uzis and machine guns ready to fight the SWAT team with a bear cat outside your house, right? Ridiculous. And then the second one is Tennessee versus Garner, which again is an extension of Terry versus Ohio. That's the easiest way to put it. And Tennessee versus Garner, 1985, this is based on the 1974 case of Eugene Garner, not Edward Garner, or not Edward Eugene Garner, not Eric Garner. Eric Garner's the guy they choked out 10 years ago on camera, but the blue thing was still too strong. Everybody didn't have a camera in their hand still. Just 10 years ago, they choked out Eric Garner on the street and nobody got in trouble. Yeah, that's changing. So Tennessee versus Garner, based on Edward Eugene Garner's case from 1974, his parents, when you research the case, as I did, you find out that his dad and his mom refused to let it go because Edward Eugene Garner was a 14 or 15-year-old kid. He's 1960. He was born 74. He was born, I want to make it sure I'm right, 14 or 15. The point is, he goes to his neighbor's house, slips through the screen door or the window, takes $10 off the table, and then runs into the backyard. Edward Eugene Garner's not bacon with all the right ingredients. And so then he goes to jump a fence and run away when the cops get there. And the cop shoots him in the back of the head as he's jumping over the fence, right in the back of the head. Bullet comes out his face. It goes, now his parents refuse to let it go. They're like, we're not letting this go. It goes all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court rules in favor of Edward Eugene Garner. Can you believe that? A broken clock is right twice a day, right? Wrong. The stare decisis of Terry versus Ohio is still case precedent. So they say that overriding, and this is the funniest part, is Harry Blackman is on the Supreme Court when the Garner case comes in. Harry Blackman is going to be one of the lead authors of what's called the Model Penal Code. The Model Penal Code is going to be drafted from 1952 till 1962. Now, the Model Penal Code is the reason why they can charge you as an accomplice. If you go to 7-Eleven and you rob the 7-Eleven and I agree to go with you to go steal some liquor, and then you pull out a gun and shoot the clerk as we're stealing a bottle of liquor, then I'm an accomplice and I get charged with murder as well. Thank you, Model Penal Code. And so as you know, oh my God. So as you know, what's going to happen from that is when we get to Harry Blackman writes that with a guy named Henry Waxler. I think he was a Polish guy. And they write the Model Penal Code from 52 to 62. It gets written, and in 54, they change everything in the Model Penal Code. Because why? because desegregation. And so then, and then that model penal code is going to be peer reviewed in 1959 and then published as law in 1962 for the states to adopt if they want. And now all the states have adopted the model penal code, which creates the modern penitentiary system we live in today. And so when you get to Tennessee versus Garner, the same man who drafted the model penal code, Harry Blackmun, he's now on the Supreme Court. Before, I think he was a federal judge. And so when the model penal code is drafted, it says in there that using the escaping felony clause from common law, in other words, common law is before your Bill of Rights. It shouldn't be allowed, but it is. From the 13th century, common law is going to put forth called the fleeing felony rule, that if someone is fleeing from a cop, then they can shoot them, kill them, stop them any way they want because a felon is fleeing. And this goes back again to slavery, whether I like it or not. And so, because you couldn't shoot people back then, they didn't have guns, remember? So now when Harry Blackmun, when the decision comes in, it's 7-2, the Tennessee versus Garner case is, and good old Sandra Day O'Connor, the first woman on the Supreme Court, she dissents. So 7 of the 9 Supreme Court personnel, I don't call them justices. You can't call anybody a justice who's appointed for life. 7 of the 9 Supreme Court personnel, they hold the constitutionality that you have a right to life and that you can run away from the police, and it is unconstitutional for them to shoot you in the back of the head unless it's for officer safety. The stare decisis of Terry versus Ohio then pushes forward into Tennessee versus Garner and Wilson versus Arkansas. Those 2 cases are held as being unconstitutional to no-knock raid your home unless it's for officer safety, and you can't shoot someone in the back because they run away unless it's for officer safety. So now let's talk about Wilson versus Arkansas a little bit. So now there are 20,000 no-knock raids a year. 20,000 times cops say, I'm afraid that if we go to that house that they're going to start shooting and that my safety's in danger. Or you're an authoritarian pig. Because just so you know, and by the way, thank you, Lackluster, for correcting me. I said something the other day because I get going sometimes and I say things without adding all of the proper information. I make mistakes on years. I make mistakes when I lecture. I make mistakes. Sometimes I say things, just so you guys know, and I won't tell you which one it was, but I was on a podcast one time. I have a memory like a steel trap. And I know people who've been murdered by the police. I know their names. I know their stories. And when I was telling 2 guys' stories, I got their stories switched. I told the story of one dead black guy for another dead black guy. I switched their stories. I saw the podcast back later, heard it back later, and I was like, Jesus, may God forgive me for my mistakes. I was so embarrassed. Nobody caught it. Because it was just 2 black guys switched the stories. This is how one guy died, this other guy died. I was incorrect. So let's talk about Wilson versus Arkansas a little bit. So, and let's add in another case that you absolutely have to know. It's called Kerr versus California. There are 4 cases that have to go. Carroll versus United States, 1925. Brinegar versus United States, 1949. Kerr versus California, 1963. Terry versus Ohio, 1968. Those 4 cases ruined our country. Harry Anslinger did the most damage. So let's get into detail about Wilson versus Arkansas so you guys understand some things that are super important. So when you take the Kerr versus California case, Kerr versus California is the caveat that Earl Warren gives to the police. It's the carrot, it's the bone, it's the, hey, sorry about that, guys, let me give you this instead. So the 1961 case, I talked about this the other day, but it's super important. The 1961 case of Matt versus Ohio, where Earl Warren upheld the constitutionality of the 4th Amendment that says you have a right to be secure in your person, houses, papers, and effects. When they raided Dolores Mapp's house, MAPP, when they raided her house without a warrant, it went to Earl Warren's court, and Earl Warren said that's unconstitutional and created what's called fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine. And what that means is that cops cannot raid your business or your home unless they have a warrant. Well, the cops, man, the dirty pigs they are. They start protesting Earl Warren. They start protesting, and they're like, oh, dude, you ruined our lives. Ronald Reagan would later push to overturn Matt versus Ohio. Ronald Reagan, such a great guy, right? Ronald Reagan was a piece of shit. He was one of the worst presidents in U.S. history. He's right down there with Obama, and he's right down there with Andrew Johnson, and he's right down there with the one I hate the most is Howard Taft. I hate him the most. So Howard Taft is a big piece of shit. I can go into detail, but here's the point. So in 61, the court creates fruit of the poisonous tree that you have to have a warrant to enter into someone's home or their business. You have to have a warrant signed by a judge, by a magistrate to enter into someone's home. That's all going to change. Because when the cops start to picket Earl Warren up and down the freeways, they're picketing with signs, impeach Earl Warren. And so the petition is Recall Jeff Lawless. And the one for Ironton, if you've had your civil rights violated, that comes out tomorrow. I'm a little overwhelmed. I need more help. I need more paralegals, lawyers, graphic designers, web designers. I need more help. It's just that simple. So in 61, Earl Warren does that, fruit of the poisonous tree. You can't enter anybody's home or business without a warrant. So then the cops are picketing him. And then in 63, in Kerr versus California, Earl Warren, after they just walk into the Kerr's house, I'm not going to go long into their story. They're marijuana dealers. They're narcotics dealers. And so they just go into the Kerr's house illegally. So then what the Earl Warren court does is creates, again, legislation from the bench. They say that all cops need to do, all they need to do is to knock on your door, say, police, 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 wait 15 seconds, and then they can kick your door down. They can do anything. Them knocking and announcing is just like a warrant. And again, this goes back to what? Common law, which should be banned. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. And so when you take Kerr, that you just have to knock and announce and come on in, and you combine that with Terry versus Ohio and Brinegar versus United States, you combine those three court cases. Brinegar, the exact holding, 1949 case, the exact holding of Brinegar says that if a cop walks by your house or your business, any old pig, and you guys got the background on the cops here, right? I've got the background on all the cops here, what they used to do. The Blankenshits were high school kids who came right out of high school, went to being pigs. And they turned a bus over and they did all these things. And Carl, look, you're not the target of my investigation, but according to dozens of testimonies, both written and oral, Carl Blankenship is running something here that's wrong. And the Blankenshits are involved. They have to be. There's no way. That's why Brandon is so gung-ho about arresting anybody, because then he couldn't be the bad cop. He has to be the good cop. So allegedly, Brandon and the other Blankenship, they are allegedly involved, according to sources. And so, and the way they're involved is by making sure that the routes don't get blocked and doing all these things. I mean, I'm going to release all the audio over time. I'm just busy. Can you imagine that? Could you just imagine that I'm overwhelmed with people who are complaining about their rights being violated? So when you take Brinegar, the Brinegar holding says that if a man of reasonable caution has reasonably trustworthy information that there is crime afoot in your home or business, that he can simply enter into your domicile. So when you take Brinegar of 49, Kerr versus California of 63, Terry versus Ohio of 68, and Wilson versus Arkansas of 1995, what you get is Breonna Taylor. That's what you get. They did a bullshit warrant. They signed off on a bullshit warrant. They went to their house and they killed them. And by the way, just so you know, the whole Breonna Taylor thing has to do actually with money and property. You can look up the Louisville Project. Look up the Louisville Project. What they were trying to do is they were trying to run all those people out of that project area called the Louisville Project. You can look it up. So what we know is that what we know is that the courts are corrupt, and that's why I filed a motion tomorrow to audio record all of the hearings and then let you hear them. So if he denies the motion, I'll file a petition. I'll file another petition. I'll file a petition and I'll have the people sign the petition that we all want to hear what happened in Waldo's court. Because according to a confidential informant who was incarcerated and beaten and tortured, Waldo signed off on the felony that this guy did when he attacked a prison guard after he'd already been tortured, which was bullshit. So we're filing a motion tomorrow to audio record all of the hearings for Sarah and Tim, because this is just for Sarah right now. But then in the federal civil rights lawsuit with Tim and Sarah, we're going to also file another motion to audio record that as well. Okay. So I've been on for an hour. you guys look forward to this coming up online right here. I'll announce the premiere here. The people who are involved in this, you guys get ready. This video is coming out as soon as I get back. I'm gonna put this up right now. So here it is. This is the most damning evidence there's been. And listen to the first audio part, and then listen to the actual video interview. Listen to every word. I had cut it up. I had sat there until 6 o'clock in the morning, cutting it up so it would be a really cool presentation. Like, first audio and then video and then audio and then video. And then I thought to myself, people are gonna think that I edited this in a funny way. And so instead of that, I trashed all the work I did. I did like 7 hours of work on this edit, and then I just threw it all away this morning. I slept on it. I went to sleep at 6:30, and I got up at almost 2 o'clock. So I don't know how much time that is. I saw the 6:30 a.m. clock, and then I woke up at 2 p.m. So whatever time that is, that's that's a lot of sleep for me. That's the most sleep. I was dead, guys. I was dead. And someone said to me last night, "You look haggard. You need to go to sleep." So I did. Okay, cool. So you guys look forward. Yeah, I've watched Long Island Audits. Long Island Audits is great. Long Island Audits is doing something different than we're doing. He's flexing his First Amendment right. What we're doing is we're moving into the new transparency era. No more police. No more police. No more police at all. Police go away. There's a new thing. You still have authority, you still have law and order, but it's done through transparency. It's a better one. So, all right, I got to get out of here. I got to get back to work. And I got to spend a lot of time getting all those little individual clips that I can back up every allegation with a source. I can back up every single allegation with a source. Okay, I got to go. Remember, you guys get that trifold. Use that trifold. Laminate, not your actual ID. Take a photocopy of your ID. Get on your stuff. This is hard for me too. All right, I got to go. People are scouting me here. People are watching me. People are driving in a circle around me. So I got to get out of here. Thanks for your time.